Hello, welcome to my stream that serves as well as the check-in for my entrepreneurship project, which makes no sense to some, but to the people that I send this to as a check-in, it will make sense. So, today I am introducing my project, Mentat, to the world in some point, but to others, it's not a new thing. So, Mentat is the basic idea is to create a software that allows and stores true brainstorms. Now let's understand this concept. The brain is very interesting. It thinks in a very network based thing. So whenever you have when a creative person sees an iPad, they don't see just an iPad. They see a rectangle that has this color, that has all these different attributes. Both individually, they see all these different details, and at the same time, they see all these different details. So if we're trying to make things, people be able to create stuff, telling them to make an essay just by linear thinking is good because it allows you to think versatile and also because that's how we understand things when we see something linearly through that way, but also it's not how we think directly. So when we're making something, it's good to have a way to, since we're not showing that part to anyone, it's good to let the brain flow, and then we'll be able to construct from there. And then also be able to go, and if we have a long project, we can be able to start off somewhere and finish off somewhere and come back and go back into the brain process that we were before. So people know this, and they made this genius thing called a mind map. The mind map is a tool that a lot of people have used. English teachers tell us to use it all the time. Because it allows you to take a central concept, think of all the individual parts, break something down, create something from scratch. I created this idea from scratch from a mind map because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for this thing. Made it literally so quickly. But then the thing is, but it was something that was in deep within my mind. But then the thing is, online mind mapping software is terribly clunky and overwhelming. So the thing is, they make these mind mapping softwares. First of all, their business model is interesting. They only allow you to make like 3 mind maps for free. I don't get that. I'm researching into that part right now. And also, they're clunky in the sense that when you make a mind map, when the joy of a mind map is being able to separate things into separate individual aspects of the thing. But then mind maps are clunky because if you make a mind map, it gives you this either just one bubble and then you have to start creating your mind map from there, or it gives you like 4 bubbles out of the first bubble, but then they don't explain how the keybinds work. So if you have a singular bubble, if you press enter, it just creates a new one. But then if you press enter again, it does not create a new one, a new path from the center bubble. It creates an independent bubble under the bubble that you created that by pressing enter the first time. Technically, that is what you want, but at the same time, it's not what you want because most times you want something, you're thinking of something, and then you want to connect. Third thing, trying to connect different issues. So like when we were doing mind maps in English class, we were connecting things and connecting that this is similar to this and making sure that you know that so that you can connect themes and understand how this is related to that because it has the same element of this. But in the mind mapping software, connecting two things is like always just like such a hard issue. It's either like, oh, it's gonna make a straight line directly to this, or it's gonna actually make a new bubble instead of helping you connect to another thing. Because it's just you go over to the place where the dot is, but it's not gonna help you out and do something like boom. But it's instead, oh, I should have closed this. What am I doing? No. Okay, I think that will solve our problems because my thing is being extremely glitchy. Let's see if that fixes problems. It looks like it did. That was kind of sad. Because I was being able to manage it before, but now it looks like it's calming down. I think, even though we dropped 600 frames, it's just insane. 685. Okay, but like, I think we're back to normal. We're back to normal now. Yeah. We're good. We're good. But like I was saying, it makes them weird, and it's just like, so Mentat is built, or is going to be built, based on those two principles, based to fix those two things. But oh, I didn't talk about the overwhelming part. When you have a mind map, it's overwhelming for two reasons. When you have a mind map on paper, you're like, oh, I just drew the circle, and you had the fulfillment of drawing the circle. On a mind map, you don't have the fulfillment of drawing a circle. So when you just have a circle there, you're like, okay, let me type in what I want as the main point, and then there's no help from there. You're on your own. You have to mind map and also type. You're on this journey that you're not really thinking as much, but you're just doing stuff. You're just making a project out of making a project. But so I don't want that to be happening. I want mind maps to be something that you can go into and actually have a great thing. This might be a long shot, but that's what Mentat is for. To make mind maps really actually useful and enabling them to be less overwhelming based on the project at hand, so that they're customizable and also less stressful to anyone that's using them. Wow, this stream is interesting. But besides that, the reason why I had this idea, just I'm always fascinated with the way that people think and the way that things work. I found a cool thing about this. I found a white paper by Rome Research, a second brain company, more like a note-taking app. It's a whole subgenre on YouTube about like this guy that made a book called Second Brain, and then everybody just started making second brains because we forget things too quickly. But I saw a white paper on that website, and it was also what strengthened the idea to make this work, because if I'm able to make individual brainstorms a real thing, that'll be cool. And then the reason for Mentat is because of my new favorite series known as Dune by Frank Herbert. I chose that name because it's the name of the clan or the profession of superhumans that are just elite at making calculations and calculating what will probabilities and things that could happen. They're not as good as the Kwisatz Haderach, which is like the Messiah kind of thing, but like they're quite good at understanding these different things, and they're highly sought out, and they're like the most rich people, but they're also extremely bad because the world is like a feudal state. But the galaxy, actually, not like the world, is the galaxy. But like, it's very nice. But like, that's the reason why for the name. And this is supposed to be a short stream, and it is quite short. And thanks for listening to this check-in. Sorry that it took so long. I've had this idea for a bit, but it's good to be back streaming, and also it's good to be back thinking about stuff and creating. I hope this is supposed to be the beginning of a series that I will be doing on this project, that you can expect me to see me maybe tomorrow. I hope I can. I think I will do tomorrow, but then guaranteed on Tuesday, I think. Yeah, guaranteed on Tuesday. So that's it. Adios.